Hello and welcome to AvidMax Tying Tuesdays. Today's fly is the Elk Hair Caddis. It's a staple dry fly that is a go-to fly in many caddis hatches. So we're going to use a dry fly hook on this. This is the 102Y, the size 15 today. You can use a range of sizes. We're going to use a Vivis 10-aught brown for our thread. And then we're going to dub a couple different dubbings. The back end of the dubbing is going to be a UV peacock eye, an ice dub, for the egg sac on this caddis. And then the main body of our fly is going to be a super fine dry fly dubbing. We're going to rib that with some of this Keo brown saddle hackle, and then we'll finish it off with a nice bleached elk hair wing. So I got my 102Y, and the vise is the size 15 right here. I'm going to start my Vivis thread right behind the eye and lock it in. And then we're going to take this straight to the back of the hook shank, right to the bend. And we're going to start by dubbing in some of this peacock eye, the ice dub peacock eye. It's a great color. It's got a lot of flash in it. It's a really nice green, and it works really well for this egg-laying caddis, the egg sac on the back of the elk hair caddis here. So, gonna dub it in. I use Loon high-tack wax for this because ice dubbing is real picky. Sometimes it can be hard to get it to stick to the thread, and I want to get it as tight as I can for my dry fly purposes here. Keep as much water out as we can. So, dub that right on the back here. A nice ball, just like so. Might even trim it up a little bit with those picky fibers sticking out. Before we go to do our tan natural bodied elk hair here. So I'm going to actually tie in my hackle next. I'm going to do it from the back to the front just to alleviate the wire that you would need to capture this down. Makes it a little bit lighter. So I already prepped my hackle there. You can see I just clipped out some of the barbels to tie this in. Just going to help grab it. Some of that stuff out of there. There we go. So we'll tie this in right on the hook shank. Try to keep it on the side of the hook shank there. And then we're going to come back and dub right over the top of this. So I really like the super fine dubbing in tan for my elk hairs. It's a nice light bodied caddis. You can use brown and green, olive, some different colors as well, just depending on which caddis hatch you're targeting. Yellow is also a really popular color for elk hairs. So keep that dubbing noodle nice and tight with the super fine dubbing here, and we'll just work our way forward right up towards that hook eye. Elk hair caddis is a must for any Colorado fishers and beyond. You know, everybody loves the summertime or the late spring caddis hatches that come around because the fish love them as well. So get this dubbing to cooperate with me here, and we'll finish wrapping our body. So that's pretty good for the body there. Now I'm just going to come up, leave myself just a little bit of space here to bring this hackle up and wrap it down. So I'll half hitch and use my bobbin cradle. We'll wrap our hackle forward here. I'm going to trim out some of these fibers that are sticking back. I just don't want them sticking back off the back. I want everything perpendicular to the shank as we wrap. So we'll do one wrap right on the back there, and then we'll do some tight palmer wrapping up towards the front, just like so. This is the illusion of legs on this pattern from the brown hackle here. So capture this off at the front. wrap as few hackle fibers as possible, and then we'll pull it back. Just make sure it's secure. Let's get one more behind it there. There we go. And if you do trap any, you can trim them out. If you can pull it back and kind of hold them back, it just keeps some of those barbels in there and makes it look a little bit fuller. So we'll trim that out. I had some trapped back here anyway, so I'm going to get rid of those real quick. There we go, and then we can come in and do our elk hair wing. So to prep this elk hair, you do a few things. We're just going to take probably half, maybe 3/4 of a pencil diameter in elk hair here, and we'll pull out all of our Duffy material. Don't want any of that in there. You can use a comb, get all that out. You got your tips nicely aligned. I like to stack mine twice, so I'm going to pull those tips out of there. I'm going to give it a secondary cleaning. Make sure there's nothing facing the wrong way in there, no butt ends where my nice clean tips are. And then we'll stack it one more time before we go to tie it in. So many ways to tie in an elk hair caddis wing you may have seen out there. So I'm going to line it up right on the top of the hook shank. I'm going to measure right past the shank of the body there, if you can see that. And I'm going to transfer that on my thumb, and I'm going to cut just ahead of that. Nice and even all the way across. So you can see I'm ended up with something like that. And then we can bring this in, just right here in front of the hook eye, and we're going to do a couple of loose wraps. Try not to capture any hackle. A couple of loose wraps on it, make sure everything's where you want it. And then we'll do one more and cinch her down nice and tight, just like so. Depending on what elk hair you're using, this might flare nicer than others. You know, all the animals are going to be slightly different. I like a nice mountain elk or deer because their hair is going to be a little bit more buoyant. Their hair fibers have a little bit more hollow core to them, and so they float a little bit better. So as you can see, I'm holding it in place as I'm tightening it down because otherwise it'll spin on me. As you go through the head of the elk hair that you created here, it's going to help to lock it all down. So you just want to do that nicely there. Trim out anything we got captured without trimming our thread there. See if we can fix that. So I nicked my thread, so I just wrapped over it a couple times. And I'm going to trim out the part that got nicked. And I think we're good now. I'm back to a full core thread there. So now I can whip finish it. Just 5 or 7 times, however many you like. And trim that out. And then I'm going to add a healthy bit of Zap-A-Gap to this fly. All those thread wraps keep them locked in place. So quite a bit on the bottom there because they're exposed, those thread wraps. But there you are, that is an egg-laying elk hair caddis. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. If you have a fly you'd like to see us tie in the future, leave us a comment below. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, subscribe to the AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there. My heart over my mind.